Yes. Actually, as I was saying, range is basically how the points are like. So if let's say this is a graph and this is 0, this is 1, this is 2. And if let's say this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. Sorry, this is 1, 2, 1, 3. This is 0. If we have 2 points on the same y ordinate, if let's say one point is here and the other point is here, okay, so then ranges would be basically like here it would be 1 comma 3, and here it is what is it,
3 comma 3.
3 comma 3. Yeah. So there are two paths, whereas where there is a range, that is all the points on the y-axis, and then there is the domain, which is all the points on x-axis. But the thing is, all of this will not be asked on the paper, so you need not worry about it. First thing. Second thing is, range would be like all the points that are there. There can be only here. Here, if you go like the points will be on different this thing, like here there would be one a comma b, then there will be a2 comma b2, then a3 comma b3, then a4 comma v4. So that would be your range, and then that would be your domain. Like all the points on the x-axis would be your domain, all the points on the y-axis would be your range. However, again, this is something which you would not be asked on the GRE test. What you would be asked is something that I can help you with. Wait a second. So if let's say you have a graph where um, your points are scattered all throughout, okay, like there is no particular formation that they are making, then that is like a true scatter plot, basically, where there is no pattern forming. So here what will happen is there will be no range and there will be no correlation as well. Okay, for example, a graph like this, if you can see, the points are all over the place, right? There is no particular formation there. So this is a graph of correlation where one point or one value is not dependent upon the other. Then this here is a negative correlation graph, and this here is a positive correlation graph. Why positive? Because the points are in this direction. Okay, and here why negative? Because you can see the points are going from this direction to this direction. So this is why. This is the only distinction that you have to worry about. Okay, we'll start with this graph. There is 1, 2, 3, only 2 questions actually. Then this has only 1 question to it. Then this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 questions. I'll give you 15 minutes for this one. Actually, instead of 15 minutes, let's make it 10 minutes actually. More than enough, to be honest. So we'll complete this in 10 minutes and then we'll meet. Any one of you who has done the questions? Anyone who's already done the questions? Okay. Okay, let's see. Anyone who's done the questions now?
Sir, I was facing a little bit of difficulty the last few questions.
Last few questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's better.
Okay, so we'll discuss these, then we'll discuss. I mean, we'll see whether we are able to or not. So first of all, which in each of the 12 schools districts in 2004, a committee of math teachers wrote a curriculum for a new state mandated course in the following diagram. The number of teachers on each committee is plotted against the amount of time the committee met. For example, committee A had 3 teachers. Uh, hmm. Yes, so committee A had 3 teachers and met for 80 hours. Great. Assume that no teacher missed a meeting. Then on committee A, each of 3 teachers worked 80 hours. That means none of the teacher missed the total hours. So 1, 2, 3, 3 teachers, 80, 80, and 80. That means basically this committee totally worked for 240 hours, basically, in total. Now, which of the following are true? Whenever there were more than 7 teachers on the committee, the job took less time than when there were fewer than 7 teachers. So, as the teachers is increasing after 7, the time is being taken less. So, yes, you can see there is a negative correlation. So, this one is true. Okay. Then we have next question. Next point is there is a negative. I mean, obviously, there is a negative correlation between these two. We can clearly see in the graph it is a negative correlation. So, because it is coming in this direction. So, this is true. and this is true. On average, for each additional teacher, uh, on a computed time to complete the project was reduced by 5 hours. 3 to 4. No, not necessary. No. When here the teachers were same, there was a 10-hour decrease. When from teachers increased by 1, there is still the same hours. Then again, same number of teachers, but less hours. So no particular distinction for this. On average, for each additional teacher, the committee took 5 hours less. No, we cannot say this for sure. So 1 and 2 only apply. So option C is the answer. Next is, what was the arithmetic mean of the number of hours worked by the teachers on the committee A, B, and C? So here 3 teachers are there, 80 hours. So basically 240 hours total work by all teachers. 7 teachers for 50 hours, 350 hours. 7 teachers, 240 hours, 3 teachers. 930, 270 hours for 9 teachers. So add these total number of hours worked by teacher and add these total number of teachers. So 240 plus 350 is 590, 590 plus 27, 270, sorry. 590 and 270 would be 860. And 3 is 9, 19. Divide this by 19. 19.
You can take 20 instead. And then
Huh?
you can take 20 for easy calculation.
We can also take 20. Okay, yes. Fine. 0 and 0. So 1 and 43. So 45 we can assume. The nearest is 45. So 45 is the answer. Because in this we can also assume, we can also approximate.
Sir, one doubt.
Yeah.
Should we only consider the topmost points in each?
Yes, because this is the A, this is B, and this is C.
Fine.
Right? Take a look at this picture. Carefully read the functions and analyze the trend. You can make predictions based on the given questions. Below is a scatter plot showing the number of acres, of land a house is on compared to the price of the house. What percentage of the houses on more than 4 acres cost less than this? First of all, what percentage of houses on more than 4 acres? So here it is given, like below you can see you have acres, and from 4, like these are the more. So what we can do is we will directly draw a line perpendicular here. Okay, we'll get total number of houses which are more than 4, which are on ground more than 4 acres. Then it says cost less than 400,000. The price here is in 100,000. So you draw a horizontal line from this point. Okay. So since first of all, what we count is, it is saying 1% of houses, number of houses more than 4 acres. So first of all, we'll count all the houses in this red block. So all the houses in red block are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 houses which are more on the land more than 4 acres. Now it's saying, what was it saying? Cost less than 400,000. So these many houses cost less than 400,000. 5. So basically 50%, 50% of houses that are more than that are on land more than 4 acres and cost less than 400,000. Okay. Now these questions. We have, on average, the machine operator that produce the fewest defective parts per 1,000 have how many hours of experience? So anyone who has done this question on average?
It's 16,000.
Huh? Why 16,000?
Like it's asking a few defective parts per 1,000, and that curve is the average. So if you look at 16,000, it's less than
Right.
20,000.
Great. Okay. So the thing is, when it says on average, it is not asking you to like focus on the trend. Okay. Sorry. Because it is saying on average, it is asking you to, I mean, it is not asking you to focus on the individual points. What you focus is on the curve. So here you can see this here would be the least. So 16,000, yes. Next, on average defective rate, part rate.
The option
That would be option
B, 2700.
2700. How?
Sir, like at 12,000, the defective is 35 per thousand. So if you draw a line from 35, will coincide around.
Yeah, so 12,000. There are points here. Great. On average, the effective part rate is equal for machine operators with 12,000 and approximately how many hours of experience? So if you do like from 35, if you go, it comes here. Now the thing is, how do we know what would be the answer? Like whether it will be 2,000 or 2,700. So the thing is, how will you determine that? So if you see this here, the range between these 2 points is 4,000. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 5. So you can basically divide this into 5 equal parts. This would be 3,200. This would be how much? 2,400. This one would be 1,600. This one would be 800, and this one would be 0. I mean, this is 0 anyway. Okay, so this is how it is increasing. And the one which is here and here, which particular point is nearest to this? This point is the nearest to this line. Right? Because the one at 2,000 would be somewhere here, which is not near. And we can, what happened? And we can see here that like if we draw a horizontal line from basically here to here, because it is 12,000 and it is cutting the, like if you draw it somewhere here, it is cutting the graph on this particular point. Now let's draw a straight line from this point. So this will come around 3,200 or 2,700. Like we can, since it is between 3,200 and 3,200 and 2,400, we can choose 2,700. Great. Next, we have approximately what experience level in hours do machine operators produce the most defective parts per 1,000 on average? Anyone who has done this question?
Sir, 8,000.
How come 8,000?
The graph is speaking at like 40
The graph
parts.
is
Sir, the average graph.
Yeah, I
It's not
mean,
asking average, right, sir?
huh?
It's not asking the average value. We can see the points.
No, it is saying on average.
On
No,
average, right?
Okay.
whenever it says on average, like it is basically asking what is the trend here. So the trend is like the graph is going this way, right? So on average, like when most defective parts would be here, so it is 8,000, because these are the defective parts and these are the number of hours. So 8,000 would be the answer. Next, we have of the two individual machine operators who had a defective part, rate of 4.2%. Rate of 4.2% defective parts. So basically 40 defective parts out of 100 out of 1,000 is basically 4%. So for 4.2 would be 42 defective parts out of 1,000. Now it says Give me 1 second. My laptop is running out of charge. Just 1 minute. Yes, sorry. So it says that what does it say? Two individual machine operators who had a defective part rate of 4.2%. Now they're saying here, if you see the defective rate, we are calculating out of 1,000 parts. So 4.2% of 1,000 would be 42. So that means we have to check which two operators are basically like creating 42 this thing defective parts. Now the ones on this line are obviously 40. Okay, the ones on this line are obviously 45, as we can see clearly. So there are only two operators which are actually creating 42, which are these two. Okay, so now what we can do, what is the question asking about these two operators? Let's see. It is saying how many hours of experience did the less experienced operators have? So less one is this. It is near 8,000. It is more nearer to 8,000 than it is to 12,000. So it is obviously going to be 7,700. Anyone who has not understood this part? Okay, next we have pie charts. So we have, I mean, these are also pretty easy. One, two, three, four, five, six. Yes, 6 questions. Okay, so let's do it side by side actually. 6 questions. Okay, fine. I'll give you 5 minutes to solve these questions and then we'll discuss them. These are actually very easy questions, like pie charts, easy questions. So I'll give you 5 minutes to solve the 6 questions and then we'll discuss them. Okay, so let's discuss questions by chance. So first question is take a look. Yeah. First question is approximately how many more two door hardtop coupes were made in 1971 than in 1965. So first of all, what we can do is we'll see how many two-door hardtop coupes were made in 1965. So hardtop coupe, this is their hardtop coupe, this is there. So black and the white one. So this here is right, yes. So this here is 21% and 21% of this. So 21% would somewhere be 35,000, somewhere around 35,000. Now, let's see for this. Hot tub group is here, hot tub group is here. So basically, these two, 12 and 46 is 58%. 58% of this. So 70 plus 14, around 83,000. Now, if you subtract 35 from 80,000, 83,000, you get 48. Now, which of these numbers is the nearest to 48? This one. But like, so obviously we will not approximate this much. This is too much approximation. What we can do is we can take out 58% of this value and 21% of this value. Wait, let's see. Let's do that. Approximation also gave us the answer because they are far from each other by around 2, 3, 4,000. So that will not interfere with our answer, to be honest. But just to be sure, what we'll do is we'll calculate it. So 21% of 174,000, which would be 21%. 1%. Okay, anyway. So we can, it will be 36,540. Approximately 36,540. And 58% of what do we say? 58% of 140,000. So 140,000 into 0.58 will be 81,000. See, I approximated around 83. So 81,200 minus 36,540. This can give you an approximate answer, a very near approximate answer, which is 44,660. So obviously it will be option C. Anyone who has not understood this one? Okay. Only one question on this. Take a look at this picture. Okay, the pie chart below shows the percent sales of the top 5 selling fruits in supermarket. Total sales for one day was 1,000 pounds. What is the difference between peach sales and plum sales? So peach sales are this one, plum sales I think are this one. So 10% of 1,000, which is basically 100 pounds. Like you calculate the difference between the percentages, that is 10% of difference between the two. So it is 10% of 1,000 is 100. So 100 pounds difference. Then we have this. Take a look at this picture. Carefully read the functions and analyze trends. Okay, again. What is the percent of owner-occupied housing units or households fewer than 4 people? Just add 2, 3, and 1 person household. So it will be 21 plus 36 plus 16, which will give us 73. So 74% basically, like somewhere around 74, 73. No, so 74%. Among the owner-occupied housing units represent the chart above, approximately how many households are 5% households? So it says that 5% is 6.7% households of this 75 million, right? So what we can do is 75, we can take out, let's assume it to be 76. Okay, so 6.7% of 76 is basically 0.067 times of, so around 5 million. This is approximately 5 million 92,000. So 5 million is the answer. Basically 6.7% of this. Next, which of the following is the correct ranking of 1%, 3% and 5% households based on the total number of people living in such households? Total number of people living in this household. Okay, so 1% household will obviously have 1 person living, right? So 21% of 76. So 21% of 76 would be 15.96 million people. 15.96 million. Why? Because this is 75 million. Anyone who is not able to understand this? Anyone who's not able to understand needs me to explain this part. Okay, so 3% household, it is 16.5% of this. So first of all, what we'll do is we'll calculate the number of households with 3 people living in it. So 16.5 of 76, which is basically 12.54 million. So 12.54 million people living, 12.54 million households, and into 3 would be, I think, somewhere around 37, if I'm not wrong. 3762. So this here is 37.62 million people. And 5% is 6%. We just calculated 6% of 76, right? 6.7. So 6.7% of 76 is how much? 5 million, right? So this is 5 million. Now, if this is 5 million households and 5%, so we'll basically multiply this by 5. This comes to be 25 million people are living in 5% household. 37 million people are living in 3% household, and 15 million are living in 1% household. And it is asking us to range it from least to greatest. So the least is this one, 1%. So this is out of the picture, this is out of the picture, this is out of the picture. So least is 1 household, then there is 5 household, and then there is 3 households. So option B applies.
Sir, won't the least be 5%?
Huh? How come least?
Sir, it is asking least to greatest number of people.
So
So,
for 5%, there are total 25 million people. No.
Yes, sir. So like 25 is less, like going from 25.
No, here it is 15 million.
Okay, sir. Got it.
Okay, so 1, 5 and 3. Then what do we have? Which range of household sizes inclusive accounts for more than 50% of all owner occupied housing units? Basically 2% plus 3% is how much? 52. There is C. These are the greatest 2 numbers. So obviously the total, like if you add this will come as like more than 50. There is not going to be any other numbers which will be like there is not going to be any other portion which you add together and the sum would be greater than the sum that these two portions would produce. So this here is 36, this is here is 16, so it will be 52.8. so this is the greater, so 2 to 3% households would have the greatest what do we say, the greatest what was it, accounts for more than 50% of the owner occupied households basically. Okay, anyone who has not understood this part? Okay, last we have data analysis. We have only 4 questions. So what I'll do is I will post the answers for this tomorrow instead of actually, you know, like discussing this, because it is already beyond 8:32 and I have one other class right now from 9 to 10. So for today we'll end this here only. We are basically just